And greetings, and welcome yet again to episode number 2 of the University of the Virgin Islands Albert A. Sheen St. Croix campus students, particularly those in the Communication 120. They're going to be sharing their presentations. This is a public speaking class so that you can hear their perspectives, their views on issues that are of interest to them and that are relevant to our community. And we're going to start with our first student who will introduce herself to you right now.
Morning. My name is Kinera Armstrong, and my topic today is what is NIL? NIL stands for Name, Image, and Likeness. It allows college athletes to earn money from their own name, photo, or personal brand. For example, athletes can make money through advertisements, social media posts, or sports camps. Before 2021, college athletes weren't allowed to earn money this way, even though schools and companies made a lot from sports. Now, NIL gives athletes more freedom while they still attend school. Athletes are not paid by their schools but by businesses or sponsors. Many people support NIL because it is fair and helps athletes cover expenses. Overall, NIL gives student athletes more control over their future and reward their hard work. Thank you.
Marvelous. And now we will move to our next UVI Albert A. Sheen campus student.
Yes, good morning. My name is Manala Bad, and today I'll be talking about something a little personal, but I think it can relate to other students, whether high school or college. I'll be speaking about my choice to leave the island to pursue that higher education, but also my choice to come back. I'll be honest, I hate the fact that I have to leave the island to pursue my dream. If I had the option to stay here and still become a veterinarian, I would take it without a second thought. When I was younger, I used to say I couldn't wait to leave the island. I thought life in the States would be more exciting, bigger, and more fun. But as I got older, my perspective completely changed. I started to realize what a blessing it actually is to be born and raised on an island like St. Croix. Living here teaches you community, it teaches you resilience, and it teaches you that people around you truly matter. That realization is a big part of why I chose to pursue veterinary medicine, especially large animal medicine. It brings together my love for agriculture, animals, and my desire to give back to the place that raised me. Now, I know becoming a veterinarian means I have to leave the island for a while. There just aren't the same educational opportunities or specialized training here yet. But leaving isn't about abandoning home, it's about preparing myself to come back stronger and more equipped to help. Some people think helping animals isn't the same as helping people, but on an island like ours, it absolutely is. Healthy livestock supports local farmers, strengthens food safety, and supports our community in ways many people don't always see. In my own way, I see becoming a veterinarian as playing my part in helping build St. Croix and the Virgin Islands as a whole into what I know it can be. And even if life takes me down a slightly different path, I know one thing for sure, I will always continue my education and bring that knowledge back home to share and use in ways that help my community. I know some students get a lot of hate, or just young people in general, for leaving the island to wanting to do different things. And I think a lot of us don't do it on purpose and don't do it for the sake of just wanting to leave. So I think we should kind of stop that hate and encourage our young people and our youth to go follow their dreams, but always remind them to remember where they come from and to bring it back here so we can help the islands. Thank you.
And thank you for that as well. We're very appreciative of you sharing your perspective in that regard. I am very excited because a couple of things that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some people will have to step so that we can have the rest of the class be able to come in, but we're going to go through this first round. Let us go to our next presenter, please. Do your introduction.
Good morning. My name is Leonisha Bazil, and some of the ideas and issues that are important to me.
Pause for a second, Miss Basil. Whoever else is in the room with you has to turn off their sound. Let's try it again.
Okay. Good morning, class. Some of the ideas and issues that are important to me are education, economic opportunities, and community development in the VI. Education is important because it creates opportunities for success and help people to build a better future for themselves. Economic opportunities is also important because many young people especially in the Virgin Islands, have goals and potential but may not have the right access to jobs or resources to achieve them. Community development is important because strong communities create safer environments and better opportunities for everyone. Thank you.
Actually, if you continue your speech, that way we can go to the next person. You were on a roll. Let's continue. But you have to turn on your sound.
That was the end of my speech. Thank you.
Okay, then thank you. Let's go to the next person.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Crystalia Powell, and my topic is more about people driving on the road, specifically those who are a bit older. Now, we all know that some younger folk tend to drive a bit recklessly on the road, but another age related factor is older people also on the road creating some hazards. As people get older, their senses aren't as sharp as they used to be. This doesn't mean that older people are bad drivers per se or should automatically lose their licenses. It just means that being older can make driving a bit harder. Like seeing street signs, judging distances, reacting quickly to sudden stops, all of that becomes more challenging over time. And again, that's normal. So instead of taking that away completely, a smarter solution would be to have consistent reevaluations, like regular eye exams, to make sure that drivers can actually see what's happening around them, that people's prescriptions are up to date, taking regular road tests to make sure that they still understand current traffic laws, and checking the driving ability ever so often to keep everyone safe and older drivers included.
And thank you
Thank
very, very much for that. Thank you very much for that. And our next presenter from our Communication 120 course.
Good morning. My name is Kain Danoa, and today I'll be covering a topic that's well known. It's called inflation in the Virgin Islands. So, inflation is a well known economic issue in the US Virgin Islands. After COVID-19 pandemic, the prices of goods and services have increased. Since most of our goods are imported, inflation has increased shipping costs and production costs, which then leads consumers to raise their prices. The rise in prices of grocery items have been a major concern to most people. If you're doing your normal grocery shopping routine, assuming that you buy everything you need to last you a good while, you're likely to spend nearly $200 or more depending on the items being purchased. High inflation requires people to spend more money on necessary things in a moment for their families, even though they're trying to save more money. In addition, the cost of utilities are also expensive. Electricity and gas prices are higher, which affects households and transportation. In terms of gas, if you have a job that requires you to be on the road a lot, you're going to spend a lot of money on the gas. And another thing is inflation also interferes with jobs because businesses are keeping the same pay rate for their workers, which can make it harder for some folks to afford more things they need and pay their bills with the high inflation costs. To overcome inflation costs, you may want to have a secondary source of income, like another job or a side hustle, or maybe have financial support from your family. However, I hope the government will increase minimum wage or wages in the future so people can afford more things without having to struggle or think about different survival strategies. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Marilyn Gregg, and the title of my presentation is Last Straw. Last Straw is it's a Tyler Perry movie that focuses on a single mother named Janaya, who cannot accept the death of her daughter Ari. She continues to act as though her daughter is still alive, which causes confusion, hallucination, and trouble in her life. The film highlights the theme of silence by showing how Janaya decides to keep her emotions inside instead of talking to anyone, and how this makes her pain much worse. It also shows how race affects the support of Black women and the type of support they receive by revealing how people often overlook their emotional needs and expect them to stay strong no matter what the situation is. The movie, this movie brings sadness and reflection because no one checks on Janaya or help her through her grief, and it makes her think about it makes me think about real life situation and how many people hide their pain. This movie reminds us of how important compassion, support, and paying attention to others can be, especially when someone is struggling in science. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you very much for that presentation as well. And we have our next UVI student presenter.
My name is Elijah Jackson, and my topic today is the world around us. The world around us is always changing, sometimes in ways we don't expect. One moment is iguanas dropping off trees, the next is children walking out of schools because they're standing up for what they believe is right. These moments show us that change can be surprising, but it can also be powerful. Young people today is more aware of what's happening in the world. Throughout social media, we see news faster and understand issues that affect our community and our future. Because of that, youths are starting to speak up instead of stay silent. And if the youths don't talk, who will? If the youths don't push back or stand up, who will listen? It's like a baby crying. Eventually, you have to respond. In the same way, when young people raise their voices, society is forced to pay attention, whether people realize it or not. We are the next generation of adults, leaders, and decision makers. That's why it's important to invest in your youths and support them. Because at the end of the day, if no one listens to the youths now, who will guide the future later? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And our next student presenter.
Good morning. My name is Addis Tazadi, and the topic of my speech for today is when AI crosses the. So imagine opening social media and finding out that AI has created a naked picture of you, and a major company is allowing this to happen. This isn't a future problem; it's happening as we speak. According to an article published by the UK's privacy watchdog, The Guardian, X, previously known as Twitter, Grok AI tool was used to mass produce partially nude images of young girls and women. The Commissioner's Office launched an investigation into X and XAI to determine if Elon Musk's firms complied with data protection laws after users' personal data was used to generate intimate or sexualized images without their knowledge or consent. These kind of investigations can lead to lawsuits, government fines, loss of trust, and long-term damage to a company's reputation. As AI becomes businesses are being held accountable, not just for what their technology can do, but for how it is actually being used. This matters to me because technology is a part of our everyday lives, and this decision affects us. This is a real world example of why ethics, regulation, and accountability matter just as much as profit. Businesses that ignore these responsibilities may grow fast, but they won't last. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
And thank you for that as well. And our last presenter in this segment.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Naira Macmillan, and my topic today is mental health in the Virgin Islands. Mental health is often treated like a joke. People laugh things off, turn struggles into memes, and tell others to just be strong or move on. But not everyone is laughing. In a place like the Virgin Islands where everybody knows everybody, opening up about mental health feels risky. People worry about feeling judged or talk about or even seen differently. So many people stay quiet. Young women are told to just feel a pressure of holding everything together, and young men are taught to just keep everything in or they'll be seen as weak. Shown not to They're shown to not show emotions. When mental health isn't taken seriously, people begin to feel like their struggles don't matter. To conclude, breaking the silence around mental health and reminding people that struggling does not mean you're failing. It just means that you're human. Thank you.
Well, with that being said, I really appreciate, let's do a round robin again, starting with Miss Armstrong and going in the order that we see so persons know your name, your major, and the importance of public speaking. Real quickly, let's do a round table.
Morning, my name is Kinera Armstrong and my major is business administration.
Good morning. My name is Manala Bed, and I'm pursuing a degree in
Wait a minute, I
bachelor's of
didn't hear
animal.
you, Miss Abed. One more time, Miss Abed, a little louder.
Good morning. My name is Manala Bed, and I'm pursuing 2 degrees: a bachelor's in science and animal science, and an associate of applied science in agricultural business.
Miss Powell?
Good morning. My name is Cristalia Powell, and I am getting a bachelor's in science to be a pediatric nurse.
Thank you. Miss Jackson?
My major is business management. Thank you.
Miss Gregg?
Hello, good morning. My name is Merlin Gregg, and my major is accounting with a minor in computer science.
Go
Good
ahead, Mr.
morning.
Donovan.
My name is Kain Donowa. My major is accounting, and I'm pursuing a degree in a bachelor's in business administration.
Miss Basil?
Good morning, my name is Leonisha Bazil and my major is business management.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Naira Macmillan. My major is social work with a minor in psychology.
Good morning. My name is Addis Tazadi, and I am currently pursuing a bachelor's in business administration with a concentration in finance.
Okay, thank you for that. So I want to just kind of close out that there's two things that we would like to be able to work on is to encourage persons to just be aware of what is happening at the University of the Virgin Islands. And I really want to extend my thanks to each and every one of you that came on time, worked through the process, and we're going to continue this in the very, very near future. But stay online. Let's close out this stream.